Happy Thursday. Welcome to Couch Talks, the Q&A episode. I'm Amy.
And I'm Kat. And before we get started on today's question, quick disclaimer, although I'm a therapist and Amy is Amy, this show does not serve as a substitute or replacement for any actual therapy. We're just here to help you walk through. Do you say to tailgate?
We're here talking.
Oh, I thought you said we're here to tailgate.
Or that.
Well,
you can tailgate while you listen to this email. The email's kind of long, so yeah.
Yeah, you might need a tailgate.
Which Kat said, Amy's just Amy, because I am one of you. I too seek therapy of my own, but I'm just an average Joe.
I too seek therapy of my own.
I know, but I don't have any formal training, nor am I trying to even
Well,
it.
The short way to say that is take our feedback at your own risk.
Love it.
We hope it helps, but you don't have to listen to us if you don't want to.
And you can email us for Couch Talks, just hey there at feelingthingspodcast.com, which we got an email from, is it anonymous?
Anonymous.
It's anonymous. Okay. Hey, Amy and Kat, I apologize if this email is long, but in some ways, I'm sure it's not long enough. I am a freshman in college with a roommate I adore, but unfortunately over Christmas, she told me she's been struggling with an eating disorder, which I missed, but looking back, it's obvious. She told me she was getting help and actively seeking therapy, and naively, I thought it would get better. Unfortunately, it has not. I know she is still getting counseling and seeing a new nutritionist for help. Side note, I am training to be a registered dietitian, so a lot of what she is struggling with, I am studying. She has told her parents, but I do not think that up until recently, if at all, they understand the severity of it. Their motto through this whole season has been, you made a commitment to your studies, and this year you will finish it out. Personally, I know this is not what she needed, but I felt it was not my place to say anything. I am also not in the healthiest place through all of this because it has severely paused our relationship, and our state of living is, for lack of better words, disgusting. Now, do not get me wrong. She takes priority right now, but I feel like I am drowning in this as it's consuming me entirely and all of my thoughts. I'm not worried about me going down the same path. I think more of my worry has been that I am studying this, so I know things, but she doesn't want to hear them, and it is not my place to say them. So in summary, my questions are, if you are in this position, what would you want your roommate to do for you? What advice do you have for me as my mental health is deteriorating because of this, and the cleanliness of the dorm is disgusting, and my grades are dropping as exams are coming up? Y'all are doing amazing work, Amy and Kat, and if you listen to this and you know you are my roommate, please know that I am here and I love you more than anything, and I want to talk to you if you want to. So then I think to summarize, the main question is she wants to know how to support her friend who's struggling, and has sort of cut her off, it seems. And then how does she support herself? Because she's grieving a lot, like the loss of her friendship, and then she's got her own mental health things happening through it. And luckily, Kat is a therapist that specializes in body image and eating disorders. And Kat, take it away.
Yeah. This is where you get to be like, and you talk now.
And remember, I'm just Amy.
It feels nice now, doesn't it?
Yeah, which I think it's good to add some levity here. This is a very serious email, and we like it for Couch Talks because I know I personally hear from moms that have kids that are struggling, and I think she mentioned the parents here. Whether you're a friend, a sister, a roommate, or a family member or a parent, like you may know someone that could be going through this, and you too want to know how you can best support them.
Yeah. Yeah. This could be about anything that somebody is going through. It doesn't just have to be about, this doesn't apply to me or my friends, because nobody that I know has had an eating disorder. But what I want to say first, and what I think is probably really hard to hold right now, when we have somebody in our life who is struggling, it feels selfish or wrong to put ourselves in any part of that puzzle or equation. So I think what I want to say first and foremost is multiple things are allowed to be existing right now. I'm scared for my friend. I feel sad for my friend. I don't want to put feelings in her mouth, but those probably are existing. And she said she has anger towards herself, and she has to take care of herself, and her friend's situation is also affecting her. So it's okay to hold both of those. We don't have to just say, well, I can't think about me because she's the one who's struggling. Your feelings are important and
And
valid
you're
too.
also struggling in your own way. Yeah.
Yeah. This is where I really want to drive home that this is not therapy, and take all of this with a grain of salt, because depending on all the different pieces that we might not know about this situation or your situation, when somebody is struggling with something and you're trying to be compassionate, there's two types of compassion that can show up. One is idiot compassion. One is wise compassion. Very different things.
Oh, I'm intrigued. I have not ever heard of
You haven't?
this.
Okay. So this is tough though. This is a really tough, because you're going to have feelings. If you're the one that offering the compassion, you're going to feel some discomfort in this. Idiot compassion is that the compassion we give when we don't want to rock the boat. It's the like just kind of sympathy, just that I'm so sorry, just that must be really hard. It's I'm going to give her grace when I've probably given we can give too much grace, but that shows up when we just don't want to ruffle feathers. It's very people pleasing, keep the peace.
So is this like in your therapy literature, idiot? Like what's it?
It was on our test. It was on our licensing exam.
Yeah.
I actually don't know where this came from.
Okay.
I do know that in the book, Maybe You Should Talk to Somebody, she talks about it, but she didn't create this. So I don't know where it actually comes from.
Lori Gottlieb?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's a good book.
It's such a good book. And
Yeah.
that's a great book if you just want a good book, fiction book to read.
But
Although
she based it off of
Yeah.
her real clients, which it's also interesting sometimes what our brains retain and what they don't. Because I read that book and really enjoyed it, and I don't remember idiot compassion.
Okay.
So.
Well, maybe you're like, I don't want to learn that. That makes me uncomfortable, because once you know it, then you have to do something about it.
Right.
So that's idiot compassion. Then wise compassion is the compassion that we give when sometimes we have to say some hard things. It's when we really want to be more helpful, even when it includes a tough conversation or even when it includes a tough boundary. I can have compassion for you and still have to like draw a line. And so I wanted to share that here, because in situations, in any type of thing, but especially in eating disorders or addiction, we always want to be like, oh, but they're sick, but they're struggling, but they're.
So in my personal experience with that, I'm thinking back at a time where I was advised by someone that was walking me through something that I needed to detach with love.
Oh, I love that.
And so I don't know, this feels like relatable to that, in that I really cared and wanted to try to go in, but I then was becoming more codependent by the minute, trying to control certain things that really weren't for me to control. And it felt mean to walk away or detach, in a sense, to take care of myself. And so the language she gave me was, well, you can detach with love.
I'm going to start using that. I love that. And that, I think, is where, again, we don't know the exact situations. We don't know what steps have been taken or if it's time for this, but it can save somebody's life to detach with love. Because when we don't do that, we end up enabling that codependency. I want to save them and take care of them. And also I'm taking care of myself in that, because I don't want to feel the discomfort of drawing a boundary. Or what if I upset them? And I have heard countless stories where parents kicking their kids out has saved their life, because we're not going to be a player in this game. I just want to put that out there for them to think about and maybe grapple with. Am I offering too much idiot compassion? Do I need to bring in some wise compassion and still be loving, and maybe create some detachment with love? Because that is a form of helping somebody. And I had a friend we were in college, who was struggling with an eating disorder. It was one of those things where everybody was talking about it. Everybody was talking about it, not to her, but everybody was talking about it. And I was at a different school, so I went and visited her. I saw some things that I didn't know anything about eating disorders back then, but I was like, this can't be good. And so I sent her a message and just said I noticed some things. I actually looked this up recently, because I was like, what did I say to her? And I said, I noticed some things this weekend, and I just want to check in with you and make sure that you're okay. I really love you, and I want you to know if you ever need anything, I'm here. And I got like a stiff arm. I'm fine. You don't need to worry about me kind of response. And then some radio silence for a while. And I think I was upset at that and also patient. And then a year later or something, she did reach out to me and say, like, I'm sorry that I kind of neglected you after you sent me that message. Thank you for saying something because nobody else did.
Mm.
And I don't think I am any part of her getting help. And I think it was helpful in that moment where she didn't want help to know that somebody was noticing her.
Yeah.
She didn't like it.
And you said you had to just
Wait.
sit in that
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable season of like waiting, and you had to be patient.
Mm-hmm. Which
And
again,
something that's really hard to do
very
without
like,
building up resentment too.
Oh yeah, because it's like, what did I do? But I think my response back then was, I was like 21, 20 years old. I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't have said anything, but I'm just gonna be patient and see what happens. Man, it was easy because this girl's roommates with this person. She sees her all the time. I was at a different school 6 hours away. So it was a little bit different, but it was uncomfortable. And I think at the same time, in time, that I think we get back what we put in from that. So again, maybe look at your compassion. Wish we had a compassion wheel here, but look at the type of compassion we're showing. What do I need to show? And do I need to bring anything else in? And at the same time, if you do come to your friend and you ask for something or you say something and she's not responsive or she's defensive or she cuts you off even more, you're also allowed to have feelings in this. Coming back to what I said in the beginning, you need things right now. Like, this is affecting your life, your studies, your room. You're allowed to set boundaries with that. So maybe think about less, what does she need and what do I need in order to like put those pieces together? Is there anything I need that I need to ask for? Which feels kind of like, what, I'm going to ask for something? I'm not the one struggling, but you are.
Yeah. And I think there's a way to do it kindly. And then you just have to decide how far you're going to go after that. And you can be patient, because it sounds like she's definitely in the thick of it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm taken back right now in my own thoughts of when I had to really understand what it means to detach with love. And you may need to do some digging with that.
Do you have any
dig into that a little more and ask yourself what that might look like, and just saying your piece kindly, and maybe even stating what you need if you feel like you want to go there, and then stepping away with love.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice thinking about your situation of things that helped you do the hard thing? Was it just hearing that from the therapist, or?
Well, I mean, there was multiple therapists involved. I think there was a lot of things, but I finally had to realize my involvement, which I don't know that, again, this is a totally different situation, but you mentioned when we enable, like when we have the idiot compassion, we can enable. And I realized my participation in it all, and that I wanted to remove myself from the game. Like, if looking at it like that, like I was becoming exhausted.
Yeah.
And things were a mess and falling apart. And I think once you realize, like, oh, this actually also isn't my responsibility to fix or control this situation. So I need to step back and take care of myself. And yeah, patience, I think, is
huge.
Huge. Yeah. Patience is a virtue.
I was going to say, also, I think it would be unfair to not put this in there. No matter what you do, if somebody does not want help at that moment, you can't help them. And that was probably one of the hardest lessons I learned as a therapist early on, because I thought, if I'm good enough, I'll fix them.
Yeah, no, they have to want it for themselves.
They have to want it. So take some pressure off yourself. Maybe show up and let her know that you notice her, you notice that she's struggling. Even if she meets you with defensiveness, deep down that really could mean something. If somebody sees me, somebody's taking this seriously. Even if she's not showing up that way, that still could be happening. And if she is not ready, that's all you can do. And just say, I'm here when you are ready. It doesn't matter what skill we give you or what sentence stem we give you,
but stand firm in that. I'm here when you're ready. You don't have to keep coming back. If you feel like you need to check in at some point. But I feel like part of that detachment is you truly have to surrender the control. Like, you're not going to be a part of like what her parents decide to do, what she decides to do, what others, because
And that is tough to sit with. So maybe get an outlet where you can let out some of that frustration and steam and energy.
And focus on yourself. One of the statements that also helped me, and this is from Al-Anon actually, and we hear it over and over and over, is just stay on your side of the street.
Mm-hmm. Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. So with love, you can express something to your friend. But when something is also impacting you in a way, which I know like your dorm is a mess, like I'm sure that that's just, I'm assuming because the other part is all consuming and it just, other things lose priority.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe take time. Or is there someone that you can call on that can come help you like tidy things up and get it together and have a fresh space? You've got 1 month left.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what your summer is going to look like. But once you do express your part, then you're on your side of the street and clean up your side.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're responsible for cleaning up our side. And it sounds like you maybe have some things you need to tend to when it comes to your mental health. So
yeah,
that's our advice.
Thank you for sending this question. And I really appreciated this email and the time you spent writing it. I think this is going to help more people, even if they're not directly relating to your roommate situation.
Yeah.
We have situations like this happen more than I wish.
Have the day you need to have. Just kidding. Good luck. Talk to you later. Bye.
Amy has to end it on like a fun note.
I know. I'm like, golly,
Yeah.
I feel for her because when someone has an eating disorder, something that was said to me when I was in the throes of my eating disorder, sort of like the first go round, because mine went away and then it came back. But in my early 20s, because a friend reached out to a friend, this one person sort of became like a mentor of sorts to walk me through it because she had walked through an eating disorder. And I just remember we went on a walk one day and she just told me that what she realized with her own eating disorder is that it was a slow suicide. And she had to decide one day, like, this will take my life if I don't do something. And it sounds like your roommate is at a very severe point. And I know that that's hard. It's difficult to watch somebody doing that, because if someone was actually legit harming themselves in a way that was like, or, death by suicide, you would intervene and do something drastic. And this is very difficult and just a hard way to end an episode on a lighter note. So.
It's a hard way to end a year of school too, especially if they're going separate places and there's some just worry about what it's going to be like at home. But yeah, there's not a good way to wrap this up. Eating disorders, there's no way to make them.
Yeah. So we love hearing from y'all though. So please send us an update if you've got it, and know that we're cheering you on. You can do it. Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Okay. You can do it. What movie is that from?
Waterboy.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Adam Sandler.
Okay. See, I know movies.
Yeah. Good job.
Okay,
you know what? Speaking of movies, you know what I keep doing in my head now, ever since you told us on a previous episode about
Caroline.
Yeah.
Which so many people reached out to me and told me they knew what I was talking about.
House Bunny?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You still haven't watched the movie though.
If you haven't heard that episode, you don't know what we're talking about, we'll close with this tip. If you're meeting someone for the first time and you want to remember their name and they say, "Hi, my name is Jill," you go,
But let me do it. "Hi, my name is Jill."
Jill.
Wait, is that as deep as your voice goes?
Jill. Hold on. Jill.
That's better.
Did I do better?
Yeah,
okay. So you would go, hi, or I'll do it. "Hey, I'm Cindy."
Cindy.
Okay, good. We did it. We're ending on a laugh. All right. Wrap it up.
Have the day you need to have.
Yeah.
And email us your questions. Hey there at feelingthingspodcast.com.
That's right.
Follow us.
That's right.
That's right. Okay, I'm done.
Bye.
Bye.